All right. I'm here with Todd Schroth. Hey, Todd.
Hey, how are you? Appreciate it,
Great.
Jennifer.
Yeah. So you came to EXP a couple of years ago, but you were at ReMax for like over 18
Yep.
years. So I wanted to
Yeah,
talk to you a little bit about today, about why you decided EXP. What was your process and how you got here, and what are your thoughts now?
for sure. I've been honestly at ReMax since really '86 because my parents were there also. I'm a second generation real estate agent.
Wow.
So I've been in the C21s and the red carpets and everything since the '70s that they've owned the brokerages. And so when I actually got into real estate in my early 20s, I went right to ReMax.
Of course.
It was just the right fit. And so hit my mid 40s, I'm like, or early 40s, I wanted to like take my career to the next level. I don't want to own a franchise. I didn't want to do anything along that line, but I needed to grow and
Why did
expand.
you not want to own a franchise or open up your own brokerage?
More just responsibility.
Okay.
And, I think having agents come to me all the time and ask, and I run a team.
Mhm.
So our team was just three of us, and now I've got 15 of us. So it is kind of like running a business.
Right.
You
That's
have
what I
people come
was
to you all day long.
thinking. Like, isn't
Um,
it the same?
And it is, and I never thought about the franchise model. I don't have my broker's license, never intended on getting it. And then when we decided to really step our business up and want to expand two or three more agents, it was just not cost effective.
Hmm.
And I was always a top agent in my office. Just the cost of being here, though, it was not prohibitive for me to grow to the level I'm at today and be there. And I love ReMax. I was always the guy who said I would die with a balloon over my head. I was never leaving. I'm a realtor for life because I've been doing it since my early 20s. I grew up in the business.
Yeah.
Um, but look at the economic model. I called a bunch of friends and said, hey, if I was not with ReMax, would you do business with me? Like,
Mhm.
I don't even know who you're with. You always say, hey, this is Todd Schroth, when you answer the
Right.
phone. And I called a couple of agents who I saw recently left and went to EXP and said, hey, did you guys lose business leaving ReMax? And that's when I realized brand, at a certain point, brand does not matter. And I think we've gotten so far removed from brands because we've created our own,
Right.
that it's allowed us to expand, like take and put Todd Schroth real estate team in the front, or Todd Schroth home selling team, because we can't use real estate anymore, um, in the front, and put EXP or ReMax or Keller Williams or anybody else in the
Whatever
back
it is.
and
Well,
be
I think
the
too, it
and be the
also
super.
went away with, I mean, back in the day, there used to be like phone duty and sign calls and stuff like that. But now our phone numbers can be on the sign.
Yep, I've always had my cell phones on my sign as a primary number, and I was great when someone else would put the office number on there because I'm getting the calls. But I
Right.
was also always in an office. My biggest quorum with leaving when I got introduced to the company in 2017 was, where do I go to work? As
Right.
you can see, if this is on live, I've got vertical blinds behind me. I'm in an office building. I love
Right.
going to brick and mortar. I mean, I
Yeah.
love the office you're in right now. It looks fancy.
It is
Um,
fancy. It's a Zoom background.
um, but I have a 4,000 square foot office space for myself and my team and my downline. And what's funny is this is the former ReMax office, because when we gave
That
him
is
notice,
funny.
he said, well, I guess I don't need two locations, so we'll just go up to Lake Mary. So we took over the ReMax space, and I treat it as a brick and mortar, but I wanted a space to go to work to every day. I mean, I don't care about the cloud brokerage. That's not what sold me, because I needed a place to go to work. I don't work at home. When I was single with no kids and a jet ski in the back, all I would do is, if I'm at home, go on the boat. I'd go on the jet
Right.
ski. If I'm at home now, I play with the dogs or hang out with the kids or go in the pool, or find other things to do besides work. So
Yeah.
I have to have a place to go to. So to me, brick and mortar is important, but I love how creative we can be with our brick and mortar. It can be 4,000 square feet, or it can be 300 square feet. They don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's also there's the Regis ones that we can go to. Like
Yes.
I go to there's three of them that I go to pretty regularly, depending on what I'm doing. But yeah, I agree with you, because when I had a bigger team and we were looking at space, we were at Keller, and because of the franchise at Keller that we were at, our space had to be in a certain area. And I was like, but I don't want to be in that area. I want to be in a different area, but I was not allowed to be there. So now my partner does have an office, and it's in an area that's convenient to him that we would not have been allowed to do
Yeah.
had we still been at Keller. And then I could just go wherever I want, which is what I like.
Well, the ReMax model, you're not allowed to have satellite offices off the branch, and if it is, it's within a mile, and they still have to approve the location and everything else.
Yeah,
And
there's so many restrictions, but
yeah,
here there's really no, I mean, at EXP, there's not restrictions. You can either do home, which most people do anyway.
yep,
Or you can do like an office building even with other agents.
yeah. I mean, you can work inside your title. One of our agents here has a literally their sign is the conference room inside the title company. That's her brick and mortar, and that's her local location. I mean, we have a very nice office space, but I was in an antique, a 1920s commercial building down in Daytona Beach. That was like not, I want to call it flea market style, but it
Mhm.
was a bunch of 300 and 400 square foot offices going down the
Yeah,
hall. And all I had to have was a broker sign in the window. They didn't come and want to look at like what's the location, the approval, and everything
right.
else.
None of that.
So, you
So
know,
even when now that you have your own building, do you buy it or do you rent it?
no, we rent it.
You
It's
rent
very
it.
expensive. I would love to purchase, but
So even when you do the numbers with renting that building and you compare it to kind of the fees and what you were paying at ReMax, it was still financially made more sense.
yeah, I mean, because when I looked at so we doubled our office space about 60 days ago. And so that added on, the other 1,800 square feet. But prior, I was writing a check to ReMax for 3,500 a month.
Hmm.
And it was for 2 office spaces, the monthly fees, the ad fee, and whatever else they wanted to add on there, which I had no problems with that because that's the model I chose to work in.
Right.
But as we wanted to grow, it was just like, this is getting, it's going to be really expensive. And if I recruit you to my team, you're not selling, you're costing me $400 a month.
Right.
Plus the leads and things that I'm handing out. So for this, when I looked at the 3,500, excuse me, our lease is 3,200 a month.
Okay.
So I'm like, automatically, I'm ahead of the game.
Right.
And then,
Because it's not per person either.
no, it's not. And I have 7 private offices. I've got my reception area, my lounge, and my conference room. Versus I'm stuck to 2 10 by 10 offices for 1,800 a month.
Right.
And then when I looked at like our E&O insurance, that was a numbers thing for me. Our E&O insurance caps out at $500. My E&O insurance was like $4,000 a year at the other office because of the amount of transactions we were doing. We were paying per deal. I'm like,
Oh,
well, there's 1 month's rent.
yeah.
So
But
I looked at the breakdowns there as I was trying to figure out how to save the money.
well, what do you say to people? Like, I mean, you run a big team and that's great. I think the math can definitely, I already know it works because I run a small team and the math worked better. Um, but I think like there's a lot of agents that maybe aren't very good at math. And obviously it is a numbers game. You know what I mean? Like, what do you say to them?
Well, some of them want culture. Some of them,
Yeah.
cool, we'll give you culture. We have a lot of culture going on. I've got 8 offices in the Orlando market that we all partner together and do things. It's all of our downline effect here. And we've got trainings, in-office trainings. They want all that stuff. I'm like, we have it. If you don't engage in it, you're not going to have it. And
Well,
we
that's
have it.
anywhere though, too, like, yeah, because I know it is kind of hard to explain the culture.
Yeah.
You hit on the 2 biggest pieces, like culture and coming to an office.
Yeah. Well, I have a friend up at the beach who I've been talking with obviously for 2 years now since I've been over here. And she's complaining about her 60-40 split. And then she just closed $1 million deal. And she's like, God, he took 15 grand of my money.
Right.
I'm like, really, honestly, that deal right there would have capped you out.
Yeah.
And you'd have another $10,000. And wait, you're complaining about a boat dock you're trying to build in your back of your house right now and you don't have the money for it.
Right.
Let me show you how you can get there. And then the next deal closes, she complains again. And she goes, but I just love the manager. I just love the people I'm around.
For how much money each year?
I can't stand the manager. I'm like, trust me, if you want culture for 30 grand, I could buy you culture.
Yeah.
So there are some who just don't want to move or take the risk or need to be around people. I'm like, we're 45 minutes away from each other. Trust me, I'm up in your area all the time.
Right.
And you get your boat dock in, I'm going to be over with my boat and park it there and I'll be there every day.
I think a lot of people learn though, Zoom too is a great way to connect. I mean,
it is.
I've connected with more people since COVID than I was prior to COVID. And I was in the office every day,
Well, and that's like our 2020 thing was we started the show with on our Agency Win page, and it got us connecting with people all across the country because now I'm sending out messages trying to connect with people to do interviews and just learn more about them and do stuff. And so it's gotten us reaching further.
Yeah, exactly. And for culture, I mean, I'm friends with people regardless of what brokerage they're at.
Right.
I would say, like, if you think people aren't going to be friends with you after you leave, then maybe they're not your friends.
True. And what's funny is I still talk to my old broker. We still have, we don't chat on a regular basis, but I didn't leave on a bad note. One, in case anything ever went wrong here, I wanted the opportunity to go back there.
Right.
But I didn't also go, as I've seen some agents do, you leave the brokerage and you get so recruiting in your mind that you call every agent at brokerage and try to recruit them out of there.
No.
That's how you build a bad reputation.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Well, I really appreciate you being on. Will you share with us, tell us a little bit more about the YouTube show you have?
Yeah, for sure. So we've decided we want to help agents win. So as we try to get creative with a name for our Facebook group and our YouTube show, it's Agents Who Win. How
Hey,
ironic.
that's ironic.
Like your fight club, this is almost what I think we need to put into the contract, into our contracts. What's our fight club? No, my offer, your offer.
Exactly.
No, I've got more money to pay over appraisal. But we've every week on Fridays there I'm hosting with we're going to be on here in a few weeks, talking about just what you're doing in the business to be successful. What are some challenges you've had? How have you faced them, etc. And then Mondays I'm actually working with one of my new agents who's from my old office, who I stayed in contact with for 2 years, about coming over to the company. He's a coach for Club Wealth. So we're offering a lot of coaching tips on Mondays now as well.
Oh, nice.
So follow us on Agents Who Win. Mondays and Fridays we'll be on there doing live. And if you have questions, we're all there to kind of chime in and see how we can help each other.
Perfect. And then you do business in Orlando, Daytona,
We're in the Central
everything.
Florida market. So pretty much anywhere in the state of Florida, I can help you. If I don't have service the market, I can definitely connect you with an agent in that area.
Okay.
But we're Disney to Daytona, Christmas to Claremont is what I like to call it. And we do cover a wide range, but I've also got 15 people on our team who are working all over the place to try and help buyers find properties.
Are you growing your team now if there's a Florida agent that's interested?
We are. Yeah, we grew to 15 in January, and kind of freaking everybody out saying that I want to double again. I'd like to have 30 of us on sales, but I want to spread out a little bit more, so we can go to like Daytona to Tampa. I'm working with Open Door on a project right now, and they're expanding their market to Tampa and Jacksonville, and I don't have anybody in Tampa right now, so I'm like, ding, that's a reason to recruit, get some people on a team down there to handle this product. And I've got an agent in Jacksonville who I know wants some business. So this is going to be an opportunity for her up there.
Perfect. So if people wanted to reach out, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Best way to reach me is on Facebook. You can find me personally at Todd Schroth, and or our Agents Who Win page. You can connect with me there, or give me a call on my cell phone or text at 407-247-4184.
Perfect. And just to summarize our conversation, what I heard from you was you had a concern about space and you had a concern about culture. And those, pleasantly surprised, are now better. They've been alleviated and they're better.
Yep. And I realized brand did not matter because I am the brand.
Yes, exactly. People do business with you.
Yep. That was my biggest, aha. Hey, brand for $100,000. I'll take it.
I know, right? Exactly. Well, I really appreciate you being on. Thanks a lot, Todd.
Yeah, thanks, Jennifer.
Have a good one.
All right, you too.